It's very fast.
Oh no!
I need to show you a video of me doing stand-up badly because you showed me last time. And 3,
I tried to, but I was just so talented.
I know, yeah, you tried to.
Just like intangible red flag territory. Like he's not saying anything specific,
interesting.
But like just as he's talking, you're like, do not be in a room alone with this man.
Yeah, 100%.
So we can all love each other. No.
All right, great. Okay, great. This is great. What about him is an intangible red flag? Is it a way he appears, way he talks, hand gestures?
Do you know what the word intangible means?
All right, I'm gonna go have a piss.
Ashley, you're in charge.
I'm in charge. Bitches.
I went down on a juicy poozy, and
got a fart, and this chair's gonna make it reverberate. Hey, wait! Hey!
Oh no! Everybody else, hey! What's going on? I'm just waiting for music. I thought you were getting music. Oh, I thought you were just getting music.
How my penis gets born.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Here's a shed.
The ice cream cones came with a little metal packet that is just full of sugar. It's just full of sugar to be poured into the cones.
What has the Japanese not gotten a hold of, perfected, and then when everyone was like, "You did it," they went, "And now we'll begin." And you're like, No, you fixed it. It was fixed. Do not break it. Like, no, we got to break this.
I still have some more questions.
Go ahead.
John Hastings is on America's Got Talent for 5 minutes, and now he's got houses in LA and London.
That's right.
Yeah.
You kept a house in London?
Yeah, I've kept a house in London.
Update: not sugar.
There's no fluid tasting enough to warrant sucking it out of him. No, but it was. Did he do it when he was then in the band when they were the 4 Bee Gees that brief time before then his heart exploded?
Wow.
I'm not saying anything that didn't happen. That is what happened to him.
I'm a predator.
And it was going awesome. And we even started having drinks at a bar, and we each had girlfriends with us, whatever. We're having a great time until I got comfortable enough to go, hey, we share a birthday,
As someone who's been eternally single.
Go ahead. Is it your fault? Yes. No. Sorry.
Stop tweeting after your dates, Ashley. Stop tweeting after your dates.
Oh, bad news, Paul. You're getting a Batman bed.
This is not bad news. I am so pleased.
Support them.
But you know what's more important than helping people's mental health?
Fuck you, John.
I'm just saying. Tom, you're a comedy fan.
Here's what happened. So I came up after she finished a couple times.
How did you
I'm not one's not enough.
What a
you go for 2. That's how you start it out.
Smoother crunches.
And then Jesus, boom. And so so when I emerged, I went to kiss her, and she just grabbed my face and she sucked it all out of my beard.
So hurtful.
That's a literary reference. Oh no, I gotta.
Hey, he can't tie me out now. I'm the only one here. Books, pages. Right. Verb, noun, adjective. Nice. Someone give me that.
I'm very prone to bullying.
No, you're talking about Andy Gibb.
I am talking about Andy Gibb. Pardon me.
Get your Gibbs straight if you want to come at me, bro.
Sorry.
Those nice bearded men and their Aryan friends seem like they're doing very different shows.
Marylane's got pink eye. She touched her hole.
I tried to. It crawled away too quickly.
It's difficult with tea. Sometimes you try and tune it and you get Assam.
I'm officially declaring it. Jordan is the Governor General of the stream.
God damn it, guys. I took a riddle today. I can only focus on one thing at a time.
What is happening right now? Two screens. I want to have two screens.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Paul and I were walking through the park, and we walked past the tennis courts. A ball had gone over the fence. Paul went down, grabbed it, threw it over, and the young woman who was playing said, "Thank you, sir."
Oh,
ouch!
Right, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna fucking take over this fucking festival, and you're not gonna fucking stop me. Why? All these fucking robots are all around the fucking city, right?
Yeah, don't knock a spit roast till you try it.
Just hang on. Can you just keep going? Make an appeal right now for us to stop this whole thing.
Oh no, the Canadians are coming.
Chris, John, and Irish Ashley combine to make the ultimate team, better than any wet dream. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream. John's the CEO and Boomer. Ashley's the real leader. Chris brings the vibes and juices as our enjoyment increases. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream.
Hey.
You're not muted.
Yeah, I had to unmute early because for some reason when I play that video now, it always just freezes. I haven't heard the full song in like 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah, I don't know why. Whenever I play it, like the YouTube video is fine, but that one, it comes in real chunky for me. And so I just have to prematurely unmute because I've been caught muted a few times now.
Oh my days.
Yeah, but if it plays fine for
We'll
everyone else.
get it through perfectly, yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I gotta check my computer. Maybe I got too much junk on here. I have a lot of games. I have a lot of games on my computer. That might be why.
Yeah,
how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm cool. I feel like I feel end of the week tired.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking forward to taking a day off tomorrow. I got shows on Saturday, but tomorrow I can just chill out. So
nice. Yeah.
but I've been good. I've been very productive. I bought a book, like a ring-bound book, so that before I go to sleep at night, I can write down what I'm supposed to do the next day. Because when I wake up the next morning, all those thoughts are gone, and then I just wing it. And so as a result, a lot of things aren't done. Speaking of that, patrons, I've edited the video to take out the private chat business. I'm going to edit the audio as soon as we get off this, and it'll be up on Patreon.
I forgot to check that
today.
for you.
That's okay. I found it.
Check if
what I did is
write it down.
I watched the I was watching the Sixers play last night. It was the season opener, and during commercial breaks, I just hit start on the episode. I started with about 20 minutes left, and then just let it run until I found it and I marked it.
Right.
I learned a bunch about video editing. That was cool.
Fun.
Yeah. So so then all I got to do is the audio, and then we're set, and then the Patreon will be up. We're very sorry that it took so long.
Yeah.
But it'll be ready.
It's a good episode.
It's a good one. We had a lot of fun. It's long too. It's like 2 and a bit hours.
Oh yeah, because we ran over, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we did like 220 or something. We were having a good time.
We were having a really good time. We were all a little bit chilled out on something or other.
Yeah.
And it was a good episode. I have a lot of postcards that I need to send off from Mallorca. So they're here. They're gonna be written up, and I'll go and find the addresses. So all the Patreons, we haven't forgotten.
No, we're just getting into the habit of getting it right. That's all.
Yeah, we're just learning. It's only the second month. Calm down.
Yeah, that's it. Hello, everybody. We got Kimmers, Tiger, Steve. Kimmers has a new profile picture.
Yes, that's exciting.
Look at that glow up picture. Very nice. Looking
Lovely
fancy.
photo. Yeah. I don't.
You okay?
I don't know. I've had such a week. I'm just sort of done.
Yeah, I bet.
This week has sort of broken me just a little tiny bit.
Which sucks so hard. It was supposed to be vacation.
I
The
know.
whole point is that it's restful.
Yeah, and then there's just like a few other things that are kind of bothering me at the moment, and I'm just like, oh, I just need to not be in this position. But oh, it's a new birthday selfie. That's fun.
Ah, very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Great shot. It's a great shot. Good call. And happy belated birthday. Kimmers, how did you end up spending your birthday? Because we didn't end up doing a stream on it. So we sang you happy birthday early. So what happened? But you got to be on a boat. You were on a goddamn boat.
I got to get a joyride on a motor yacht. And you know what? If anyone wants to buy me a motor yacht, I won't turn it down.
Nice.
It was such a lovely boat. Basically, my brother's friends with the captain, and so he had to do a test run of it. And he was just like, "Yeah, you can come along. I won't be able to hang out with you in any way because I'll be working, but you can just sit on the boat." And I was
Amazing.
like, "Cool, yeah, I can do that."
Great. And just out in the
so-
sea?
Out in the sea.
What was it? It was just a run to be like, oh, this boat doesn't sink and moves forward.
Pretty much, yeah.
Great.
There'd been a bit of damage on the boat, so they basically had to bring it out, test the engine, bring it up to full speed.
Nice.
So we got to go kind of fast on it as well.
Did you do the thing where your hat almost falls off, but you catch it at the last time, and then you lean back in the sun like Audrey Hepburn?
That's not real. There's like a string or something there so that she definitely doesn't miss it. Yeah, it was lovely.
Spent the day with my folks and grandparents, came around in the afternoon. I got a stovetop kettle for my brother, and it's ace. Nice. Very nice.
That's lovely. Yeah, no, so a motor yacht was lovely, and he had to do like an emergency stop on it and everything. So there was just a few things he needed to go out and check and make sure that he had like a couple of engineers down in the engine as well while he was doing that. So yeah, that was fun.
Did you get to like be in the I can never remember what the hell it's, the cockpit, I guess. While they're making all the decisions, so like you got to see how they
guess it's the cockpit. I wouldn't really know what the proper term for it is on a yacht.
Bridge. Thank you. I've watched enough Star
bridge.
Trek that I should have known that. I should have absolutely known that. My dad was in the Navy. I should have known that.
Yeah, so I mean, I was up there. He was kind of showing us, like he has this whole dashboard thing with information on it, and he was showing us bits and pieces. And the only thing I understood was the temperature of the water, and the temperature of the water still warmer than the temperature of the air in Glasgow all summer.
Nice. Did you send pictures of that to your friends? Were you like, ha, ha,
and then I got a full tour of the boat as well. So I got to see the little crew bunker, and I got to see the actual suites in it.
Oh.
So they
Did you take advantage and bang a sailor in a suite while at sea?
No.
What? Ah, man.
But yeah, they have like a big master suite, and then there's a lovely little bathroom, and then they have a twin room and a double room in this yacht, and it's just like, oh god.
Very important question from C. Mooney. Did you get drawn like one of those French girls?
I know I talk about a lot of things on this, but there's some little things I'm going to keep secret. No.
You did. Facts. There is handmade porn of Ashley in Spain right now. It is keeping a sailor company. GSA on the poop deck.
It was fun. It was fun. And it was just nice to be on a boat again, because I grew up on boats, And somebody commented, Mr. Steve Mooney, did you do the Titanic thing? I did the Titanic thing before it was the Titanic thing.
Did you say I'm the queen of the world?
There is a photograph of me at a few months old at the front of a boat in like a baby harness doing that.
Cool.
And that was in 1993. Titanic came out in 1994.
That was a reference to Point Break, just so you know, Ashley. We wouldn't want you to miss out.
I'm just not even going to acknowledge that. Oh dear.
That's great. I miss being on boats so bad. Like staying at my dad's place because he's like right on the beach. You could see the ocean from his apartment. And these huge sailboats would go by. And I was like, fuck. I do miss that. Yeah. It's pretty special. There's nowhere quite like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my brother's in kind of a frustrating place in that he works on these boats, but he doesn't do any of the work that requires him to be on them when they go out at sea.
Oh, he does the prep stuff.
he just does all of the prep stuff, and so he even was really enjoying getting to be out in this boat. And I was like, "You're on these boats all the time." He's like, "Yeah, not at sea though." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Is that by choice, or is that just his skill set that he's
that's his skill set. That's his job.
That's wild. Imagine being like, "Oh, you work on boats. How often do you go out?" Never. Terrified of the ocean. Can't go.
No, he loves the ocean, and he just doesn't get out on it that much. But he is currently going to be doing his yacht masters so that he can skipper and captain boats like that as well. So he's on that trajectory. He's making his way out to sea.
Good, great. It used to be so easy. All you did was you forged a signature from your parents, and you hopped on a boat, and that was the rest of your life.
Yeah. I hate boats. People aren't supposed to be on water. What? People came from water, probably.
Yeah, we were fishes first.
We were fish at one point. I love the sea and the water. It's one of the I always get a bit emotional on boats now, I think. Probably just because I don't get to go on them very often. But it's always one of those little things that makes me think of how much my illness impacted me. Just because... and I'm not going to get too heavy on this, but it's just like... When I was a kid, I was fucking fearless. You know, we went swimming and kayaking with sharks and seals and dolphins and... you know, we'd go out kayaking for hours. We'd be out on the boats for hours. Now, I was always a frail type, you know. The whole family would be out on the sea, and we'd come in, and I would just be purple. I would be loving it, but I would be purple. I'd be so cold. You know, but it was just, when I got sick, then I was not able for it, and I lost all the confidence that I had from growing up on the sea, and that really frightened me because I became afraid of doing things.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
As soon as you know that you're breakable, like it's okay when you're an adult because we all go through that. But when you're a kid and you go, "Oh no, I'm not just breakable, but like killable and maimable," and it's all just so awful. So like you lose that excitement.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Were you supposed to host a gong show in London?
Me?
Tim Reedy says, I almost went to the gong show you hosted in London, Ashley, but the NHS said no.
I'm not in London.
Oh, you're in Glasgow. Tim, I think you're thinking of a different...
I think it's a different Ashley.
You were emceeing something in Top Secret?
That's not me. That
different
is
Ashley, bud?
Not me at all.
Different Ashley.
I mean, I'll take the gig if it's going, but it's not me.
That sucks. Some guy on your flight tested positive.
Who you thought it was, though? Who I want? Yeah.
Let's see. Top Secret comedy. Looking it up now.
There can be only one Ashley. No, there's Ashley Story, but I don't think it's her either.
No, I mean it might be, but yeah, I would have been surprised. What's the date today? 21st.
Mm-hmm.
It was on Monday, on the 18th. Did he say?
It was Tom Tuck in disguise.
Tom Tuck in disguise.
Ashley Story is just you in a wig. I'm actually because
attempts.
I'm like trying to grow
Ashley
out my hair.
Barnhill. I've never even heard of that person.
No.
Do you know Ashley Barnhill?
I have never heard of Ashley Barnhill.
On Monday night, there was an Ashley Barnhill that was performing. Ashley Barnhill is a stand-up comic, filmmaker, writer, and actress. Subversively dark and mean, Ashley is a skilled writer with unnervingly biting delivery. She tours worldwide with Dave Chappelle and his touring show Controlled Danger with John Mayer. Ashley's toured with Joe Rogan and Mark Maron. She's also opened for Will Smith, Solange, Talib Kweli, and Mos Def. You've seen her on Roast Battle, Maron, and Drunk History, narrating the story of Muhammad Ali. She's a writer on TBS's Drop the Mic. Ashley is currently participating in Viacom's Emerging Directors Program. She has written, directed, edited, and acted in many of her own festival-winning short films. You can see Ashley on HBO as a top 10 finalist in Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's docuseries Project Greenlight for Directors. You can also catch her in the Sundance short film Roast Battle, directed by Jason Reitman. And she has a law degree. That sounds like
there
you're
are
right.
some
You did
credits
all those things?
there that I wish I had, and then there are others that I'm like, nah, it's definitely not me.
That's fair. Yeah, I could see
No
that.
touring with Dave Chappelle for me, thank you.
Well, now, sure. But then 3 weeks ago? Come on.
Nah, I was turning that down long ago.
Tim is you remember Tim? We had Tim on. He is an
Yes.
Estonian Irish guy, and he brought all the Estonian guys over to do stand up in the UK.
Oh, that's fun. I wonder how's that going?
Yeah, how the show's been? How did it? Because he sent me a message asking for tips on getting shows in London, and I was like, it's sort of too late. So I don't know. But how did it go? Did you get spots? Had an Estonian language show. That's
Packed
fun. House. Oh yeah, you did that at the Bill Murray. That's great. That is great.
Oh, because so many Estonians would have just been like, "There's an Estonian gig happening."
Yeah. And like, there's a Romanian language show. There are a bunch of French language shows. Like, because London is, as multicultural as it gets. So that's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear it. All right, we have our guest is here. John is obviously still in Dubai, hating every second of it. Man, he hates
hating it.
Can't wait for it to get
so
here.
sad.
He's coming in so hot.
I have a story from today that I sent you a message about. The fucking weirdest thing happened today. I'm so freaked out about it, but I'm gonna save it for John.
Okay, so you tell it on Sunday.
Is so up his street. Like,
okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I get that.
The only thing I will tell you is it is involving my knickers.
Yes. All right.
But not what you think.
No? Is this to do with what you said yesterday about trying to figure out how to sell them? Totally different.
Nothing to do with that.
Oh shit! I'm so excited.
Super weird. Let's bring on our guest.
Dope. We got a guest today. We're trying to book more guests in general. So we've got a lot for the rest of the month.
Yeah.
Like almost every day.
I have somebody who's getting back to me for a date in November as well.
Nice.
And then I'm going to start messaging a couple of other people too.
Yeah, me too. But today we got friend of the show, regular co-host of the Big Shiny Podcast, good friend of yours and mine, Jordan Robson Kramer.
Yay!
Hi guys.
How's it going?
I'm so freaked out right now. That was such an introduction. I thought this was just hanging out. I'm like, I'm glad I brought this sheet of things to talk about. If it's just dead air. But
I've been listening a lot to the Gilbert Gottfried podcast, and his intros to people take 5 minutes per person. Because it's like Gilbert Gottfried is just like an old man who needed money, and so he started a podcast. But the guy he did it with is like a huge showbiz nerd and knows everything from all the old movies. Like knows who re-edited something, not just the editor, but the person who re-edited after. Like goes deep, weird savant guy. And so his are just like, you may have seen him as extra number 2 in Dallas, and then he starred in X, Y, and Z, and it's literally just going on, and you can hear them getting uncomfortable as he keeps naming their credits, and then it ends, and the guests are just winded. Godfrey's line of it afterwards is like, our intros also double as obituaries. Like, yep.
Yeah, it's always funny when you come across those sort of journey people who did things before they got famous, and their Wikipedia entries is just like personal life, and it's longer than their actual. I tuned in briefly. I gotta say, and I hope your listeners appreciate this, but where the stream is now, I'm not sure if it was always this time, but it's like pretty much starts right as I close the doors to my record store here. Nice. And it's like it's 2004 all over again. Door closes, I just roll a huge spliff and I watch it.
Oh, that's nice, man.
Yeah. That's so lovely.
So,
that's nice to hear.
I haven't seen anyone in the outside world for about 2 weeks, so this is actually
oh shit, really?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people in the store, but it's like if anything, COVID has really started a new routine that I think and I'm looking I'm actually going to be seeing Chris in real life in about 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Heading over to the island, which will be surreal. But yeah, I had this moment. I don't know where you guys are at, where I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's now a routine. Like it's totally normal going 3 weeks without seeing like a friend.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had
big
it today when I was just getting ready for the stream. I was like, have I left my house today? Nope. Did I yesterday? I honestly don't know.
Yeah, it's always a bad sign when you're making like small chat with your 60-year-old Korean Dep guy just because you need emotional validation. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I went down to my brother, and he's in Spain, and they're kind of carrying on as if COVID never happened at the moment.
Oof.
Oh yeah.
There's still some masks and stuff.
Okay.
But they're on an island off Spain. You know, it's not mainland Spain.
Yeah.
And they're just, you know, they don't have too many cases, I don't think, and they're just kind of getting on with it. But yeah, so I was with my brother, and we were out every night bar one, with his pals and stuff, and I was just like, oh, this is what a social life is like.
This is what happens when you are able to turn off that part of your brain that has concern for other people and just
I made a new friend.
Hey.
Like, I got along really well with one of my brother's friends, and yeah, I just like I went with her to get her nails done, and it was just really fun. And she like was messaging me and stuff, and I was just like, what is this? Just this is so foreign to me now.
keep that part close to you, because there's a good chance like 10 years from now, if you're like me or perhaps Chris, you're gonna I haven't made any new friends in the last year, but I've definitely made new enemies, like people I don't even know. I didn't even know them, but
yeah, I've done a fair bit of that myself.
Yeah, Ashley names in newspapers. It's wild.
Yeah.
I have it now where I'm because I'm doing shows pretty regularly, but I still don't like sitting at the big table with a bunch of comics, because you know how at the back of the room, or like if you're doing a bar show, there's normally like a table off to the side, and that's where all the acts sit. I keep sort of like sectioning people off, and smoking's really good for this. Where I'm just like, oh, I'm going to go out and have a smoke. Do you want to come? So it's like I can take them out of the big group situation, because I'm just more comfortable with like two.
Yeah.
And so I used to love sitting at a table with a bunch of strangers and sort of shooting in and out. Now I'm just like, no. Let's lower these. Let's get this to a manageable number.
Yeah.
It's like, who knows what it's going to look like. I should have also said these enemies I've made, like. So yeah, I work at a record store here, as you can see. This is real. You guys know that.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like,
that's great.
You know, like not going to say 100%. I won't give like percentages, but no, I won't. Let's say there's a 40% chance I might be Epsteined in my own record shop here. They're gonna find me. They're gonna be like, oh, he somehow stacked 5 boxes of records over his neck and it snapped. Weird.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant that you were running a child sex ring out of your record store.
No. Listen, anybody who's in the know knows that Epstein refers to a suicide, an improbable suicide, not what the man did. I'm taking that word back.
Okay.
Just for the pedophiles, it has to be for suicides. Like, oh, how did
I don't know. Yeah. I feel like the impact of his crimes far outweighs the impact of his murder by powerful people that couldn't have him naming names.
Except that the impact of his murder allows those people to get away with the crime.
Beautiful, Ashley. I love that. Yes, I'm with Ashley on this one.
So
okay.
Can I don't want to. I want to hear what you guys were going to say about boats, but I definitely have a story we could get back to involving my possible untimely death this year. So I want to get as many Twitch streams as I can where I say this in case.
He tried to warn us.
Yeah, well, we're laughing, but it's my life.
You
really
mentioned
who you harmed.
You mentioned obituaries there a little while ago. Do you guys ever think about how people will see you when you're gone?
No.
I'm worried about how I would see myself in my own death and looking back on my own life. Like if you had a moment where they just replay your life and you'll just have those moments. It's like, oh no, it's coming up to 2009. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that book that they make you
Yeah.
read of your own shit. But no, I'm honestly like, when people tell me they were talking about me and I wasn't there, I'm shocked. Like, I'm always amazed that people think of me. And so the idea that they will spend time thinking of me when I'm not even around anymore is wild to me. Like, I don't even consider that.
But that's
I
just
spend my days thinking about telling you things. Like, everything that happens to me, I'm like, I can't wait to tell Chris and John about this.
I know Chris too much, though. I know that that's what you just said. That's a denial mechanism because you actually don't want to let into your heart how many people actually love you.
That is possible. That is totally possible. But also, I'm just like, people go, oh, I was talking about you the other day. I'm like, why?
I have a weird fascination with knowing what people say about me, good or bad. I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Have you ever been in one of those situations, Ashley, where you are seeing, like, you're somewhere and it's two people who maybe haven't seen each other for a while and they're running into, and they just start shit talking somebody that they know but you don't know, or like just gossiping?
I love
I'm
that.
sure
I love it so
I can't
much.
think of the immediate examples, but like, yeah, I know
You've never had this happen to you.
No, I definitely have.
It'll happen and it'll be great.
Yeah.
It's like it's more fun than like.
No, I feel like that has I feel like that's happened on this show.
Yeah, maybe just people coming to record stores are assholes. Maybe that's.
But isn't that the best when people start, like, when you're sitting with two people, they know each other.
Yeah.
And they have like a person that they hate. And I love it because I can ask all the questions that they don't feel confident asking each other.
Yeah.
And so you go, oh, but why? That sounds like a monster. Why did they do that? And then they feel okay to say all the things that they wouldn't normally say because it's to like an innocent, someone that's not there. Oh, the gossip you get out of those is so fucking pure.
Life's so great sometimes.
Yeah.
It can be. Yeah.
It's just like I heard something the other day where there's like a couple that I'd see around often. One of them is a musician, and he like left the country, and then I just assumed that like he split up with his wife and just wanted a change of pace. But then I overheard two people talking about this guy, and they said, yeah, no, like he didn't. It wasn't a harmonious breakup. Like she had brain cancer for 3 years, and he like started having an affair. Jesus, this long odyssey of just this guy being a total douchebag, and then you got to go to Australia afterwards and end up with somebody half his age. So a lot of things for people to look forward to in life.
Ooh. Oh wow. Have you ever overheard somebody talking about you?
No, but my girlfriend overheard people talking about me once.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but they sucked. So it was
okay.
Information.
Cool.
They sucked. Yeah.
I remember being in. I actually don't remember where this was, but I was by myself somewhere, and there was it was either a couple or a family. I think it was just a couple, and they were German, and they started talking about me in German, obviously not realizing that I could understand them.
Yep.
And they didn't really say anything about me that was that interesting. They were just kind of talking about how I was alone. And I don't remember, I can't remember where we were, but for some reason the fact that I was alone seemed to matter in this context. And so I just remember that happening and just being like, oh, they're talking about me, thinking that I don't speak German.
That's how did you get them? Because there's so many nice. Oh, you didn't even say to embarrass them?
No, because I think they weren't close. It was one of those things where they weren't really that close to me, and I also wasn't. I'm not confident in my German. You know, I can understand things better than I can speak it, and they hadn't really said anything that interesting either. You know, so it's just like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is
I remember-
actually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I remember my mom doing. My mom told me she used to do that to people in Gaelic.
Yeah.
Because she spoke Gaelic, and so
Speaking
she would
Irish when you
fuck
go
with
on
people
holidays is the fucking best.
until you get
It's the
caught.
only time. No, it's the only time that we like go for it. We never speak Irish at home, and then when you're abroad and you use it to bitch about somebody next to you, it's amazing.
But she used to do that with her friend in bars, and then the dude they were talking about just walks up and fucking Irishes them right back. It's just like, never again, Capos.
That's great.
I'm
That's
out of the
so
game.
good.
I'm totally out of the loop here. So what is speaking Irish? If my
Oh, you don't know about the Irish language?
I've heard of it, but I thought it was somewhat similar to English. Not the Queen's English.
No,
They do
it's
speak
a
English
totally different language.
because of colonialism.
Okay,
we speak English because the English made us.
Yeah.
But sorry, my question's more like, Ashley, you're Irish,
And
you're
so
not.
Tom Ogleton Conuil Egg Kind as Gaelga.
Yeah, I understand perfectly. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. Why there was this Irish person who I totally didn't understand, but I thought it was just because I was going. It was in a bar like back in 2008 in this loud fucking bar where this they were blasting music, but they had no subwoofers, so it was all tweet, like high end tweet. And this person was just saying stuff in my ear, and I just totally did not understand a single word. But that's probably why. Interesting.
Maybe. Very.
Or it was the
very
accent,
possibly.
or you were very drunk.
Yeah, a beautiful combination, a beautiful Irish combination.
Yeah,
I can't. If I'm in a loud bar or something, and it's really irritating, but I can't hear in this ear. I can hear when there's not background noise, but if there's background noise, I actually can't hear in this ear at all if somebody speaks into it. And so I'm always having to like get people to repeat things into this, and I'm like, I need you to say it into this ear because I can't hear you. And it's just really irritating.
How if there's any other people who might not know, or maybe I'm just a complete idiot, like how normal is that for the Irish population in general? Like, what do you know? Have any idea?
The ear thing, or
just like people who are actually
How many Irish people are deaf in one ear?
I mean,
Pretty much all of them, about 95%.
Yeah.
I assume it's a genetic thing. I saw my left foot. It's
yeah. Sorry, I don't. What are you asking me?
How common is what in Irish people?
No, how common are is that every Irish person speaks Irish, or
so
that's just gone like
there's not. Yeah, there wouldn't be that many people who are fluent anymore. You would get a lot more over to the west of the country. But we are all made to learn it in school. It's compulsory in school. You have to do it in order to pass your exams all the way through school.
Up until a certain grade?
Up until you finish school.
Okay, so it's not like Canada where they make you take French, but you can drop it at a certain point.
Yeah.
No, you have to finish your leaving cert with Irish. Some people do their leaving cert in Irish, so there's a lot of people that will, because you can get extra points if you do your leaving cert in Irish. So you're doing maths in Irish, you're doing history in Irish, you're doing all of your different. Yeah, you're doing all your different subjects in Irish, but you I know quite a few people that went to a Gael school. They all went on to do something involving maths, and they had to relearn the words for everything in English because everything's done in English at university level.
Such a nightmare. Here's a number for you, Jordan. Internet says estimates of fully native Irish language speakers in Ireland range from 40 to 80,000. Only 8,068 in the 2016 census forms were completed in Irish.
Yeah.
So there's 8,068 stubborn fucks who just won't let it go.
I'd say there's probably only a couple of hundred really old people in the west of the country that still can't speak English. But they are there. You just have to fucking hunt them down.
What year do you hope that there's a day where nobody has to speak Irish anymore?
I don't hope that at all. It's so sad. My heritage is dying. Like
I honestly think that you're probably like out of people because I've watched the stream a bunch, but you're probably somebody who could like dry read Finnegan's Wake and get half of it without the Coles Notes. Because like I was reading this. Actually, there's this like Terrence McKenna podcast. Terrence McKenna, he invented podcasts. What the fuck? Where he gives a whole lecture on Finnegan's Wake, and it's insane because he
Terrence McKenna's the drug guy, right? The psychonaut.
He was more than that, but that's what he was predominantly known for.
Yeah.
But he was like, he was a Joycean scholar, and he does this amazing lecture on Finnegan's Wake where he's just getting into the etymology of like the words. But yeah, he knew his Irish for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I've not read it, so I can't confirm or deny your.
And you call yourself proud of your heritage. Absolutely outrageous. That's like me saying I've never read any Margaret Atwood, which I haven't, but I never said I was proud of my heritage.
She's treading on turf water.
Her and Dave Chappelle should like do a comedians in car getting coffee.
Oh, is she R.J.K. Rowling?
She is J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
she's doing it. She's going that way.
People should be allowed to say the word woman still if they want.
Yeah.
Oh, was that her?
I
saw people tweeting like jokes about it, and I was like,
Yeah.
whatever started this was fucking wild.
That was Margaret Atwood. That's why that started.
She's just like she's part of like such a here I'm gonna mansplain feminism.
Please do. I love it when that happens.
Hold on. Let's give him the floor.
Oh.
So in the history, this all comes from my girlfriend, by the way. I'm just pretending to know my girlfriend. So,
Mansplains but blames it on a woman. I love it.
No, she's in academia, so I think there's actually it's been kind of a recurring thing where younger students have had issues. I can't, but I wish I could. That would be amazing. Where just younger students have like filed complaints over 70-year-old like first wave feminist teachers because they like will say something questionable or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think Margaret Atwood's just old.
There's something like I feel very bad for the people that like because like RuPaul caught it in the air from the trans community. People that like basically fought for all the rights years ago when the rights were like stop punching me.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, and now the fact that we've gotten to like microaggressions or things in that, the fact that we're even discussing things like microaggressions is so wild to them that they can't like wrap their heads around it. And like this discrepancy of they're like, you don't know what suffering is.
Mm-hmm.
I was attacked by dogs.
Yeah.
And they're like, and the kids are like, we're still suffering. Stop being an asshole about it. And it's just like, it's such a nightmare because it's like, you guys agree on so many things and it's such a shame that you're like they're losing sort of a connection to the younger generation that they helped make possible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that the younger generation is losing decades of practical activist knowledge of people that know how to fight the fights, that have made the mistakes and know how to fix them, know what it is to get someone on your side, know what an ally really looks like, things like that. And it's like both are losing so hard on this.
But maybe
it's such a shame.
Maybe it'll be like one of those things like I don't know any of those fancy analogies you just made, Chris. I don't know anything about academia.
You sound so much like Norm Macdonald right now.
But I'm honored. I maybe it's, you know, I'm a record store guy. Maybe it's like people like me who grew up in the 90s, loved alternative rock, and whenever people would say like, hey, check out the Eagles or Fleetwood Mac, I'd be like, fuck that, man, fuck the Eagles. And then you grow up and then you appreciate the nuance of music, and now I love the Eagles. So maybe that's
yeah.
I don't know.
And I think
I just think it's a shame. It's too bad that we're losing all those people, because a lot of it is like,
and it's
you're
one
just
of those
fucking old. You shouldn't be in the conversation anymore.
Yeah.
You're old.
But also they started the conversation.
No, they did.
So
yeah. But I guess
it's always that catch-22, and it's I put it down to just I think at a certain point you're just tired and you accept you don't want to keep arguing.
Yeah.
And I think that I can understand that a lot. And it's one of those things where people don't realize how much the micro stuff opens the door to the bigger.
Macro.
And it is getting down to micro stuff, and they're kind of like, oh, but that sort of stuff doesn't matter. You're not getting punched in the face, as you said. But actually it's like, no, but this was why you were getting punched in the face, and we're trying to stop it altogether.
No, absolutely. And it's a shame that they can't see it, but it's like I understand, like, if you came from that and then you walk by, you'd be like microaggressions are a gift. That's compared to what I had to deal with. And it's like, it doesn't make them good. Like, it's still not okay. But like, it just fucking sucks. Like it breaks my heart to see all these people that did work so hard and were on the right side of history for so long and made such amazing inroads, sort of leave a bad taste in everyone's mouth. And now you can't benefit from it, because there's a wealth of knowledge there that is useful and should and could be incredibly helpful right now, because they were at the last time that all this was happening. The last time there was this major change, and they rode that wave and they know how to do it. And it's like, it's just a shame. But even then, they weren't listening to old fucking people either. You think Gloria Steinem was
in a
listening to,
cycle.
like, Emily Pankhurst? Like, there was no, they didn't give a shit about what these old suffragettes thought about. So they just weren't able to tweet. That's all.
Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, like, I feel there's so many stages of it, because whenever my girlfriend has to go to faculty meetings, there's just people where even the teachers who've been there for 10 years, like my girlfriend, are talking about, like, oh, can you just retire already? People are just scared, I think, in general, about every change, right?
But I think I was just gonna say about the really frustrating thing about a lot of this TERF stuff, like what Margaret Atwood's thing was about being able to use the term woman, and J.K. Rowling is going on about how using the terms people who menstruate is like, they claim that it's what is it they try and say, that it sort of eliminates the woman's experience or something. But I think the unfortunate thing is, even if you kind of disregard the trans aspect of how ignorant that is, it doesn't suit the agenda that they are even proclaiming to be pursuing, because it's still so exclusive, and it still isolates women who don't menstruate, or women who have difficulties with they're talking about how people are getting asked if they're pregnant even if they physically can't be, if they're trans women or something like that, or men are getting asked it now if they could be pregnant, because people don't want to assume that a man couldn't be pregnant now. And it is just this thing of, like, even if you didn't look at the trans thing, there's women who can't get pregnant, or there's women who struggle with things like that, and you're being really uninclusive to those people as well. And it's just like, oh, you're just being angry for no reason.
I don't know if you talked about it, like, on a previous episode, but I did watch the Last Chappelle, kind of get a sense of what's going on a little bit with this divide.
John and I talked about it, but Ashley was gone.
Well, like, the main part that stuck out for me was just like he makes this point of, like, saying, like, I'm just like, he's like, call me Team TERF, like, I'm sorry, gender is a fact. And I feel like it misses this huge part, which is like, okay, sure, maybe debatable, but identity isn't. Identity is a fact. Like, it's like the most like multifluous thing we have as human beings. Like, so I don't know, but I definitely, I don't want to get into that. I'll actually scratch that off my list. We talked about Chappelle. We can talk about Dune.
Well, there's, I mean, part of the thing for them, because I'm trying to understand why it's such a sticking point.
Yeah.
Because that's where, you can't help anyone change how they think without understanding how they think first.
Yeah.
Because you have to meet them where they are because they're afraid and they're defensive. So you have to say, I see why you think that, and I understand it, and here's what you think. Here's where maybe some questions are. And so, like, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I haven't found a good answer yet. But I'm the point that I've gotten to now is it reminds me of sort of like segregationist and anti-segregationist movements, where people thought that race was a fact. Race determined who you were and how you should be treated and where your place was in society. And taking that, part of the problem that the 60s did was once they sort of made civil rights a big thing, and the flow of history was with them, and things started to get a little bit better, even in just sort of a mindset. They didn't go back and talk to racists and be like, but here's what it is. They just went, you're garbage, get out of here. And so those people will fester for years, and they won't talk to anyone else, and then gradually they explode, and that's how you get Trump. That's what, hey, we're still here, don't forget about us. And then we put them back in the bottle, but then the pressure comes, and then it explodes again, and that's a forever cycle. And so I'm just like, that it's difficult when you think that, like, because gender was like race, a foundational part of culture and Western civilization. It was, things were divided on that at all times, in all ways, whether explicit or implicit. And so to remove one of the, seemingly foundational pillars of our culture is a big deal. Like, that's a wild thing. And so I understand why old people would be like, you can't just take this away. Like, I don't know what to do with it.
I don't understand what you meant when you said what
I think he means that race is a fact. Like, race is
so that's
a pillar.
Exactly. So for them it was race, and now it's gender. But it's we're seeing a lot of the same problems where we're just being like, but this is how I organized everything in my life. Everything is based on the idea that gender is a thing, and I don't know, our bathroom, down to bathrooms, down to clothing.
Like when you think about the fact that there were segregated bathrooms for Black people as well, you're just like, how did that ever make sense? But obviously it did at the time, and it is exactly the same way that we see male and female bathrooms now. Granted, there might be because
that's how the trans thing is don't you fucking dare come into our ladies' bathroom.
I
you
think
belong over there. That's
I think fundamentally there is a slightly greater what am I trying to say? There's a more obvious thing that people using anti-trans rhetoric can grasp onto, and that is that gender difference and race difference are completely different, in that race different, like Black people and white people are not different except for the color of this, like they're not a different species or anything. But men and women, our bodies operate completely differently. They do. And you cannot deny the biology of that. And so you can see the need for recognition of women's experience versus men's. And so in that way, I can see where some TERF rhetoric comes from. Because obviously we, as women, there's been so much to try and have our voices heard, and like I think when it comes down to things like the pregnancy and looking at menstruation and stuff, there is still so many issues with how the medical profession treats women.
Yeah.
You know, like the amount of times I've been told I'm imagining stuff, like the way that there's nowhere near as much research into women's kind of fertility issues or period issues or anything like that as there is into men's health issues. And even things like, you know, we have to pay for any sort of anything to do with our bodies. We pretty much have to pay for it, and then like we don't get any sort of contraception for free most of the time. We don't get period management stuff for free. We don't get like coil implants are always a few €100 or pounds or whatever. All of that, like, and then men are able to get Viagra for free in most countries, and it's just like, yeah, there is a bit more of a difference. So yeah, I guess I can see where the trans rhetoric comes from, but there's a way to be inclusive for everyone. And I think that's the reason people are sticking on the Dave Chappelle one now, is that his bit mentioned the difference in sporting.
Yeah.
You know, oh, did we just get raided?
We just got raided. I was just thinking,
what
a hilarious time to play the raid video. But here we go. Welcome, Macaroni Prince. Thank you for the raid.
Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream with John and Chris and Ashley. Stick around and give us a follow. You are awesome.
Absolutely hilarious timing.
Thank you for the follow. I am the Egg Boy. I really enjoy your name.
Welcome, Troggies.
It's a total tonal whiplash, exactly.
Yeah.
We're talking about turfs, basically.
Oh, thank you for following Steffi Chu.
Welcome to the Troggies.
Thank you for following Yak Enemy. Welcome to the Troggies.
Yeah, we're
back
talking about. I'll wrap up this point because I feel like I've been talking a bit too much. But yeah, I think that's why the Dave Chappelle thing is sticking, because he mentioned the difference in sports and competing in the Olympics as trans men or women. And because I believe there's a trans woman who just dominated in the women's category or something. And people are just a bit like, well, yeah, you're physically a different thing. And it's there's so much that needs to be spoken about and researched there. I think basically there literally just needs to be research done into because the thing is, a lot of trans people are taking hormones, so it's actually changing their body and probably putting them into the same level as most people who are born of that gender or of that sex. But you know, I think the door needs to be opened so that the research can be done and the discussion can be had. And if we have to change
I think Ashley froze
the game to different weight, rather, did I just freeze?
Yeah, you froze for a second. Yeah, you said something about weight classes. Change the game to different weight classes.
Yeah, like if we need to change it to being a weight class thing rather than a men versus women thing, then that's another discussion. So,
I mean, I think that like again, I this is coming from a place of trying to understand the reticence so that you can address it. Is you know, we're all, you know, pro-trans, anti-turf, and where even we don't know the science behind it. Like you just said, it's like, I think they're probably, that brings them down. I don't fucking know. Jordan, do you know?
No.
I'm not going to watch Joe Rogan to find out.
Yeah, right. That's where I get all my scientific information. But yeah, so like even, you know, people that are invested on the side that we're on don't know a lot of this stuff. So I think that part of the problem is that the people that are really involved in it are so far ahead in their thought and the theory and their understanding of it all than the popular conversation is. Popular culture hasn't crossed a lot of these bridges. We haven't thought about it. There's a lot of ways that, you know, like I said, sports might have to be redefined in certain ways in terms of categories. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, there were jokes about USSR like a little kid, there were jokes about USSR weightlifters in the female class taking testosterone, and that was how they cheated.
Yeah.
And so like the idea of having testosterone in your system and that being an unfair advantage predates this popular debate.
Yeah.
And so it's already in there. And so all people had to do is just connect those two things. And then people go, yeah, that's not fair to the women. And then also like, what is feminism? This is a big question. What is feminism in a genderless world?
Yeah.
If you've been a feminist for 60 years,
yeah,
what happens to that? You know, these are big questions that I understand would make someone nervous and lash out, you know?
Yeah.
So it just breaks my heart when I see them. It's the same thing. Like I was talking to a friend the other day, and I've got a friend who's like, he's basically racist. He just thinks a lot of racist things.
Then he's racist.
And yeah, exactly. And so my friend was like, well, how can you be friends with him? And it's like, he doesn't have any hate in his heart. He just thinks a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like he'd never attack anybody. He'd never like, I've seen him in a bunch of situations with a lot of people from a lot of different races. He travels all over the world. He never like thinks he's better than anyone. He just has wild ideas. And every now and then I have to be like, nope. And here's why. And he goes, oh shit, fair enough. And then he moves on. And then that's one down. That's one of those wild ideas gone. But he's just wrong. Okay. He's not evil. He's just fucking wrong about a lot of stuff. And so I talk to him about it when it comes up. And so like I think because I grew up around people like that, 'cause I'm from, small town Canada. Jordan, I'm sure you knew a few people that way inclined growing up.
Oh yeah. My mom started boycotting an uncle's Thanksgiving dinner because of lectures he started giving.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. So my friend luckily isn't at lecture point. It just comes up sometimes. I go, where the fuck did that thought come from? and then you deal with it. But it's
is it weird or is it just pretty typical? Like
a lot of it is just boring, lazy stereotypes that like you just haven't gotten rid of yet that we all heard as kids.
Right.
Black people can fly if you're not looking at them, things like that. Just
Has there been a black Superman yet? That's probably next.
No, there's been a black Green Lantern.
Well, I guess Blade was sort of a black Superman.
He was pretty super.
Yeah.
I mean, spoilers, but I mean, they've made Captain America black now, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't think that's spoilers. That was pretty clear at the end of Endgame.
I love spoilers. Who does anyone actually get upset with spoilers?
Scientifically speaking, there was a study done that proved in as much as a study can prove, that more often than not, you will actually enjoy something more if you've had spoilers.
Yeah. It always seems like a weird concept because it's not like there's always a lead up in a conversation to talking about it. It's not like anybody just starts a sentence with Hank dies in Breaking Bad. Or something.
Yeah.
Although I love that Simpsons joke where it's talking about Homer and Marge's early courtship, and they're coming out of Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back, like opening night, and he's waiting in line. It's like I can't believe he was his father the whole time. But I actually had a question, and I totally lost it. But I think, sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, I think in tune with the Simpsons thing.
Yeah,
give it a couple weeks.
Give it a little while.
Give it a minute.
If it's a really old movie, I'll talk away about it. But if it's something that came out in the past year, I'm always a bit like, spoilers.
6 months. 6 months that you had a chance. 6 months is a lot of time. If you wanted to see it, you'd have seen it.
Did you go back in time and explain the concept of a spoiler alert? I guess so, right? Like up to a certain point with books, but
where you come back and you're just like, spoiler alert, Hitler loses, and then you fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are my only friends these days. I just watch movies all the time when I'm depressed. I just lie in bed with my screen on the sofa.
Yeah.
Gazing into like a fucking monolith from 2001, and because of this dream, though, I did check out Jojo Rabbit finally.
Amazing, right? What? No way.
Here's what I'll say about the movie. The characters are so beautifully fleshed out. Like I love, like everybody who's in the movie nails it.
Nice work, Jordan. Spoiled the monolith in 2001. I can't believe you'd do something like that.
You had 20 years to see this movie. So.
Yeah.
I you know what it is? I think it's just from being a record slash like movie store snob for so many years that the ending bothered me because of how kitsch it was or something. Like it just felt like, oh, like I liked this better when it was called Royal Tenenbaums or something. You know, like there's this kind of style of filming things like that treats things like in a quirky way. Like I'm sure somebody's like written an essay on like the kind of style that Wes Anderson does, where it's like it's its own world of caricature. And like the film is like technically like it's a well-made film. I just think that my favorite parts were the acting, but not the overall message. Just because I had a hard time getting behind like. I thought it was actually going to be more like somehow evoking more of this feeling of like the barbarity of that time through the jokes.
Oh,
but
see, what I liked about it was that it didn't, because the whole point is that it's from the point of view of a kid, and kids don't see or understand that barbarity in the way that it is at the time. And so the fantastical nature of a lot of it is like, yeah, that's how kids fucking see the world.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed that it was, you know, kids have a self-stylized view of how everything is that you eventually grow out of. But when you ask a kid, like, what happened? They're like, there was a dog and the dog was running on the grass. And we just saw a dog running on the grass, but it saw this poetry in motion that was just nothing like short of exceptional. And you're like, all right, man, if you fucking say so.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, I think that's totally right what you're saying. And it was something really that just came down to the style of it. Like if Jojo Rabbit was a painting that you wanted to hang somewhere, like some people would be stoked to hang it out, and some people would be like, this doesn't go with my room or something.
Yeah,
like
fair enough.
Like, but it was well made. I was just expecting something like more revelatory.
Oh, okay.
But
we built it up too much.
I loved it. When I saw it in theaters, I was like, fucking, this is very funny and very bold, and one of the best depictions of how propaganda lives in a child's mind.
Yeah.
Like
in people's minds, though. I think, they put it into a child's mind, but I think
I'm just thinking World War II.
That's totally fair. I'm fucking bored
like
of it.
Movie trope too, you know?
Okay, so here's a question. What do you think will be, because all of our dads watch World War II documentaries. What do you think will be our generation's World War II documentary?
9/11.
Really? I think because of the conspiracy theory, a lot of, I know Jordan and I will have gone through periods of like, we already know. We don't need more information.
I guess.
Because our dads grew up right after. Like, I think we've all sort of got boomer dads, right? So like they didn't fight in the war, so it's something that was just that they could mythologize that their parents did. I think that's part of why it was theirs, because they didn't have to live it. Fire Festival. Love me a Fire Festival documentary.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like there's probably gonna be documentaries made about Iraq and stuff.
But they've already
Iraq and Afghanistan,
all of the fuck up of the British and American governments there.
Yeah,
I feel
that'll
like
be nasty.
Especially with what's kind of just recently been going down. There probably will be documentaries in if you look at like 10 years, 20 years ahead.
Yeah.
That's probably what we'll be like, oh yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah.
But I don't think we lived through it in the same way though. I think in terms of things that are in our personal consciousness.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think recession.
I know they did it
I like this one. I like the Cold War. I think the Cold War is a pretty good bet because it was long and it was happening when we were kids. So it was still like, at least when I was a kid. Ashley, you were too late. But I think that'll live sort of mystically. Sorry, Jordan, what were you saying?
I just think it's going to be because all the things you're talking about are like these sort of like historicized events, like in the sense that because of like the 24-hour news cycle and just everything like that people were kind of adapting to already in like our generation. But I feel like outside of like the social network, which doesn't really count as the same thing because it's more about business, that movie, I think it'll be about the internet. Like I don't think there's been a single movie that's been made just about like because I still feel like people are taking stock into like what it's actually done to the world. Like it's like too big of a thing that we're consuming to actually see from afar, right? Like in the sense of like how like people's opinions, you can actually sway them if they use the internet enough by like activating the dopamine thing they get from like hits and likes and stuff. And that like I don't know, I feel that's probably to come.
I think fucking serial killers though. You know,
maybe it'll all be true crime.
It's true crime. But in terms of, you know, there was the war and then there was the fallout of the war in men, especially in America, but also not especially in America. There's a generation of serial killers that came after the war. You know, the kids of the men who came back from war were the serial killers. And there's people who've talked about links to those two things as well. And I think it has a lasting impact on our generation because of the way that it has changed feminism. You know, like I think there was a wave of feminism that was about getting the right to vote and, you know, being allowed to have a job and earn money and all of this sort of thing. And our wave of feminism is please don't murder us or sexually assault us.
Yeah, first wave feminists were like, some of us are going to get murdered. That's just part of it.
Yeah.
But maybe we can vote before they get us. Maybe.
But like first wave feminists, they were kind of before the rampant age of serial killers that came after the war, you know.
Or did we only just start counting?
No, it was like I mean maybe, but there's definite research into links between the men who came back from war and the rise in serial killers.
Oh, damn.
And I mean, I would find it very easy to see that link because I think one of the things that's missing from the discourse around toxic masculinity and sexual harassment or sexual harm is a lot of people say that women are objectified and seen as these kind of sex objects, and that men kind of treat them as things that they can just destroy or play with or something like that.
Commodified.
Yeah. But I think that people don't realize that that isn't something that hasn't happened to men as well. Because when men were sent off to war, they were treated as objects, weapons to be sent into the front line, to be bullet sponges for a political agenda without any, you know, recognition for their right as a human being to not be torn to shreds in a battlefield. And I think that has done some deep damage to the masculine psyche. You know, I think that it must have broken something and made violence and objectification really
and also a
Yeah.
reinforcement of the idea of hierarchy.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it will
definitely.
absolutely solidify the idea that some people get to tell other people what to do.
Yeah.
And even if you don't want to do it, too bad, because the person that has more power than you told you to, because that's a soldier's life. And so when you have generations, because it was World War I, World War II, and it wasn't that long before World War I, you know, that they were like fighting civil wars and shit like that. It was they've been fighting a long time. And that goes for Europe as well. You know, they've basically been at war for hundreds of years on and off. And not long enough that generations got enough of a distance to it. At least their grandfather was in a war. And so that sense of like, there is a hierarchy, men are here, women are here, by just general understanding in an unspoken agreement that, you know, patrol, whatever, what's a fucking private? A private is here and a corporal is here. And why? Because that's how it is. And so once you've got generations that are that instilled in that hierarchy, and that's how they've always lived, and it's how they survived in a way, because if that hierarchy falls apart, the army falls apart, then it only makes sense that they would bring that home. And of course, it'll only continue the subjugation and therefore objectification of women, because it's like, I bet their corporals were just like, do this. And I was like, why? It's like, because I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Do it, private.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely serial killers have existed since humans have existed, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But I think just that sort of,
a lot of them got to stand on a temple and just stab a child in the heart for God.
yeah. But I think there was definitely I think it's probably a cycle, really.
Oh yeah.
They go from killing each other to killing us. So
I wonder if not having. Oh, sorry, Jordan.
Well, yeah, I just had a thought during you guys talking about this, which is that you know, that example of so you were saying that there's like a high number of serial killers that were like in the war,
that were the children of the men who came back from war.
Right. So yeah, like just kind of people indirectly affected by the trauma of like growing up in that environment and stuff, right? Because
experienced it secondhand.
But yeah, so like I think what's interesting though, or like the thought that came into my head was just that, you know, like all the kind of like wave of TV shows and movies that are kind of about serial killers. I think from the last like 10 years, like True Detective, they did the Zodiac. Well, I'm sure there's more.
Dexter.
Yeah, Dexter, right? Like I feel all of those shows, from what I've seen of them, like they all sort of maintain this notion that you know, like there's people who are have these like psychological aberrations, and it's up to the state to like protect the citizens from them. But like I think what, you know, the fact that it's the state that caused those, like it's almost like the serial killers are byproducts of like a, you know, a rotten culture and a rotten like political system. And like I think now, like as a lot of reporters have been touching on and things related to, you know, like something as like fucked up and triggering even just as a concept for some people because of its associations with like the right and everything. It's like, you know, stuff like Pizzagate, or like this idea of Jeffrey Epstein. Like I think what everybody knows on some level, even if they haven't like read about it, is that like the true serial killers is the state themselves. Like they are the ones who like profit off of like human trafficking and like barbarized like places. And so it's I think if anything, it just seems like all these issues related to like what we've talking about today are like there's these like byproducts of like just how truly like decaying the empire is, and they really want to pit people against each other to keep them like busy and occupied, but not really talking about the fact that like like, you know, these people have been involved in cover-ups and like but they're doing their job. They're like they're keeping me safe at night. They're like, anyways, this could go into a long rant, but
part of the point of the state as we know it is that it has a monopoly on violence.
Yeah.
No one else is allowed to commit violence but the state. And so that will attract serial killer types
Yeah.
because they want to do it. They oh baby, they want to hurt people so bad.
Yeah.
And so like if they do it and the people need them to do that, then they're going to cover for them because they're going to be like, that was pretty bad, but we really need them to kill some of these people that we're okay with them killing. So maybe just fucking brush that one away.
Well,
And they'll just naturally be drawn to that.
Or even know
The job
even
cop is
know-
made for sociopaths.
dude. Like the CIA will like. There's a lot of evidence, and especially recently with this one book this guy wrote. I can't remember, but like that, like Manson himself was a CIA asset.
Yeah.
Is that the book John was talking about before? I think it might be.
Yeah, it's the latest Manson one that's apparently incredibly in depth, and the guy took like 20 years to write it or something, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the one that John recommended, and I was going to go and get it, but it's like really expensive over here.
What's up? I mean, like recently we found out Tucker Carlson applied to the CIA and was rejected.
Which is hilarious because fuck that guy so much.
Right? But isn't he the kind of guy that you can see wanting to commit violence?
I can see like every year that he goes back home for Christmas, he's just hoping his dad will congratulate him for doing a good job on the news. But really, his dad wanted him to work for the government, but he was just too dumb to pass.
So now he's trying to bring it down. This is Tiger. This is something that I think about a lot. A lot of ex-US Army guys who became cops said that a lot of cops would not pass the psych test to be allowed in the Army. And they wouldn't. And when you see, like, I remember watching this one interview, it was a soldier watching videos of cops interacting with people. And the one that stuck out to me was, and I'm sure everyone's sort of seen a version of this, but he said, you never draw your gun until you're about to shoot it.
Yeah.
That's military policy. You never pull out your gun until you're ready. Like, this is fucking happening. Too late. And so he was watching these cops, and immediately, as soon as they show up, guns out, he's like, no. This is not. So they're more engaged in violence than the fucking Army, man.
That's
Team America, World Police, man.
That's a crazy thing.
Yeah.
That book was Chaos by Tom O'Neill.
Yeah.
But I feel like I feel like really frustrated a lot these days with this because it's been like weaving its way in my life in a more direct way, which is like only normal. I think the longer you're alive, the more you're just like going to become perhaps included in some statistic that you never thought you would be included. Like I've like the government, at least like the one here in Quebec, like they are not happy with me right now, and they're fucking with me big time, which is its own story. But that's not really what I want to talk about. I wanted to talk more just about the fact that I think we're seeing more and more too that there's like parties that on some kind of like they've been able to adopt the nomenclature and all the kind of like virtue signals of woke culture. And so like for instance, like the municipal, like the mayor of Montreal, Valérie Plante, like people love her here because she built bike lanes for the roads, and her party has done some good things for like what a healthy city should be to function, taking like the Berlin method of like reconverting spaces for art and like, but it's all money, right? Because they're getting money for it. But the thing is that like in the last like 6 months, they've really been amping up like getting journalists to talk about like gun shootings that are happening in parts of the island, which I'm pretty sure like it has gone up, but within this wave of press, they just upped the SPVM, the Montreal Police Department's budget by $5 million. And like, it's like this whole, these people like are only in it for like a certain angle all the time. But I think in the stage of capitalism we're in now, like politicians are getting craftier with like being able to present themselves as like your ally. But if you just look at where the money goes, they, anyways.
Yeah. Kristen Sinema is a great example of that. U.S. senator that the left really got behind and is now
Right.
actively holding back all progressive legislation.
Yeah.
And there's people that are following her around and they're like, we knocked on doors for you. And she's just avoiding them. We got raided again.
We got raided.
Woo! Cue the video.
I have got it now.
Like being trying so raid.
Welcome to the Untitled Stream with John and Chris and Ashley. Stick around and give us a follow. You are awesome.
Hello, Raiders.
Welcome in. Thank you for following, Atlas.
Thank you.
We're just talking about the complications of modern day politics, but
Skizmo, thank you for subscribing. Very much obliged.
For the sub. You were in the Choose Your Own Narrator. Oh, that's fun. I come up in that a few times. Mary-Lane Robertson, if you don't already follow Mary-Lane, go and follow her. On
Thanks for
Thursday
following.
nights, she does something called Choose Your Own Narrator, where she tells a story, and every couple of minutes or something, a new narrator is chosen by the chat, and she improvises an accent and tells the story for that few minutes in that voice, and it's so funny. And I've come up in the Choose Your Own Narrator a few times, and Mary Lane seems to think I'm a Californian Valley girl, so I do come up from time to time. Thank you for following Like the Tree as well. There's a few follows in there. Welcome into the Troggies.
I will be right back. I've been holding and going to the bathroom for ages. Talk amongst yourselves.
We'll talk amongst ourselves. Oh, is he going to stay there? No, goodbye. So we've tackled TERFs and serial killers. And what was the other thing?
We're talking about the.
Have you got anything else on your list that you need to check off?
I've got.
I love that you brought a list. That's so considerate.
I've got.
It's also something I would do.
I can barely read my own writing. I've got shitty dads.
Okay, can't relate. I love my dad.
Yeah, I love my dad too, but I still think he's shitty. Wow, that's forever etched into time now. I said it out loud. Therapy breakthrough. You hardly know me, so this must be very weird for you.
It's all right. I've been going to therapy since I was 14. You can say anything to me.
Ashley, are you a Beatles fan?
So weirdly, what we were talking about earlier, it came to mind for me was we mentioned you were saying that, like, oh, when you're a kid, you're like, Fleetwood Mac sucks, and then you grow up and you develop music taste and you're like, oh no, they're really good. I remember being in a car and we had given this guy a lift. I was going to a party and we gave a friend of mine a lift, but he wasn't a close friend. He was a boy in the year above me, and we were giving him a lift in my dad's car. And we were trying to make conversation, but it was really awkward because it's like this boy that's the year above me who I don't know very well, and my dad. And so they kind of get talking about music, and I'm just like trying to be cool in front of this boy, and I'm just like, yeah, dad's really into the Beatles, which sucks.
Yeah. It's just, my friend calls the Beatles. My friend who's my age is just like, I hate it's kids' music.
Yeah, exactly. Or I think for me at the time it was like, that's my dad's music. Like, it's so old.
Yeah.
And I was so embarrassed because the guy was just like, oh, but I love the Beatles. I was just like, oh, fuck's sake. And I still feel bad about that because my dad was just like, well, I like them. And but I do actually love the Beatles. I have a friend back home in Ireland, and he has a band himself, and he writes his own music and everything. But we used to go to gigs of his a lot, and he would do his own music, but he would do a lot of covers, and he very well. And he did a lot of the Beatles. And actually, I'm gonna give him a little shout out. The band's name is The Big Lovin'. So go and give them a follow. and you can watch their music video that I'm in if you like.
Nice.
That's where Sister Ashley was born. I was a nun in his music video, and I kept the costume, and yeah.
Is it like full on nun costume, or is it?
It's full nun costume to the point where we were filming, and this elderly couple walked past, and they said, "Bless you, sisters," to the two of us. So we're just like, "Oh shit!" They think we're real nuns.
Well,
this is definitely, and this is before. Was it the 2018 referendum? So with the abortion referendum, the thing that people don't realize is that there was also a referendum to, because they'll sometimes put two bills on the same vote. And there was also at the time a referendum to remove the blasphemy law. It didn't get talked about very much because people were just like, yeah, that's fucking done and it's going to go. But this was pre-blasphemy law being removed. We could have been prosecuted for dressing as nuns that weren't real nuns, like
accepting blessings with a false heart.
But I think even just like the parody of the music video could have been seen as blasphemy by somebody who took it seriously enough, you know.
Whoopi Goldberg has been banned in Ireland for Sister Act.
Wow.
Not Sister Act 2, Sister Act 1. That's
Sister Act 1.
In Quebec, they tend to dub a lot of their movies over and rename them, and Sister Act in Quebec is called Rock and Nun. I wanted to I brought up the Beatles just because I'm like six wave Beatles fan, which is I'm past the point. I unabashedly love the Beatles, but I no longer argue with people that disparage the Beatles.
Okay.
I'm totally fine. I almost like I understand it away now from working at record stores where it's just like, yeah, we get it. The Beatles. It's
I
get it. But I'm totally going to see that Peter Jackson documentary that's coming out in a couple months.
Okay.
It's like all this footage that was never released from the making of their last album. But I will, if you subscribe to, I'm going to give my Patreon link after. You can help crowdfund. It's going to be a 6-part book. But there's this interesting thing I've noticed over the years, which is just like Paul, like I have this conspiracy that Paul is like trying to just kind of like, you know, have the final say on the Beatles with what it meant.
Okay.
Like the stories he tells, because I've seen him repeat stories a couple times, but when he played in Quebec 10 years ago, my friend Alex was in the crowd, and he, like, it was a great show. He did Wings songs, he did all kinds of songs, but then the encore, he came out with a ukulele, and he like tells a story where he says like, you know, and I used to give a lot of song writing lessons to George, especially when he was trying to write more songs, and I said, oh, that sounds really good, and I gave him a few chords, and then next thing you know, he came in and wrote and showed me something, and then he plays something, but he's like claiming to have helped him write it.
Okay.
That's the kind of story a drunk guy in a bar tells.
Yeah. But then there was this really fucking weird thing in the trailer for the documentary that's coming out where they're playing a clip of Let It Be in it, and Paul's voice in this one section of like the intro where he says something like Mother Mary comes to me, like you can go watch this after, but they slightly auto-tune his voice, and not like in a like a Lil Wayne way, just like to make it sound more pitch accurate. And I noticed it, and I'm like, what? Why that? And anyway, so I feel like Paul is going mad in his old age.
Oh, do you want to do an extra episode of a Big Shiny Podcast after we watch that, and you can walk me through all the musical shenanigans that happened in there?
Yeah, it sounds like a episode that might be a 2-parter since the documentary apparently is 6 hours long.
Fuck you, 6 hours long.
Jesus,
we're doing a mini series.
You are regretting suggesting
Big
that.
Shiny Tunes all over again, Chris.
Oh, that's wild.
David, this is very funny. For
the
podcast
podcast
listeners.
listeners.
By the way, hello, podcast listeners. Thanks for listening.
How's
Please
it
like
going?
and subscribe and leave a comment. It's wonderful to see you. David Hoare wrote, when I find myself in times of trouble, turn down for what?
I love that, like that turn down for what thing. It's never gotten old.
It's very funny. It's very
It's
every
so
little
funny.
John joke is funny to me. I love them all.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Another one that somebody reminded me of recently, well, not that I needed reminding of, but you hear something, you're just like, oh yeah, that's just good, isn't it? Is the move, bitch, get out the way.
So funny.
Why is it so good? I'm technically
so
offended,
funny.
but I love it.
I just in my head I picture someone walking in slow motions with explosions.
I remember driving through, I was in my hometown, White Rock. My buddy and I were sitting in the car. We were blaring Move Bitch by Ludacris. And we were in the parking lot waiting for a friend of ours, but we sort of slowed down and this woman was crossing the street and we were just waiting for her. Like we weren't mad at her or anything, but the chorus was screaming and we're singing along. And this old woman just looked at us.
Oh, that's excellent. I think
It's so
there's
good.
a few like riffs from songs like that where they're just earwormy, but every now and then you're doing something in your life and it just comes into your brain. Like if you're stuck behind somebody really slow in traffic and your brain just goes, move, bitch, get out the way.
There was one I realized that I didn't realize what an earworm it was till I got it stuck in my head just out of nowhere 2 days ago, which is like, you've all seen Arrested Development.
Yeah, little bits.
I don't even, it's like, it's always like when there's some awkward scene or something, and I don't know what the fucking song is, but it's just like, trying to say to me. Do you know?
Oh yeah. It sounds like Rain Maida. I always think it's Our Lady Peace.
that sounds not possible, Chris.
Yeah, right. But that's what it sounds like. I
Rain
remember
Maida
looking it up.
He
I
wishes
remember
he was.
He wished. Yeah, he'd fucking love that.
He probably got
one
gas at best.
Oh, Jordan, did you know that I found this out? The singer, did you know the singer from Default? Sorry, actually, we're going to get very Canadian for a second.
That's okay.
Default is the worst band that's come out of Canada next to Tea Party.
Great band.
Did you know that he's like a huge country star now?
You're asking me this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dallas Smith. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And now he's got a podcast with the head of 604 Radio, 604 Records, who's been Chad Kroger's lawyer and manager since they started. And so I've been listening to episodes and they have been telling Chad Kroger and Default stories. It's wild, man. I really want to get him on. And a friend of mine is friends with both of them. That's how I heard about it. And I was like, do you think he'd come on the podcast? He's like, how much shit did you talk about Default? I was like, endless, nonstop shit. We were so mean to this band. And he went, yeah, probably not. He can't really take a joke. He's not really that cool.
Yeah, it's we made some enemies for sure. But good news is me being afraid that the government's gonna fucking do something to me now I no longer care about other things that used to concern me before. So
that's exciting. Wow, Jordan's about to burn something down.
I had 2 cops come into the store 2 days ago for 10 minutes and just look around, and then I was trying to keep it lighthearted with them. I was like, you guys got a turntable at the precinct? And he's like, no, I buy records at home and listen to them. I'm like, okay. And they're looking around, and then after 10 minutes, one of the cops buys the first Shins record, Oh Inverted World. And it also happened to be like the first record in a bin, not something he had to dig for or look for. It's just like the first one up front. So my guard is up, but I also like the idea of him going into the precinct and just being like, do you want to hear a song that will allow you to beat people up in ways that you haven't imagined before? It'll change your life.
That's like, a Garden State reference. Yeah.
And who and the state we're talking about is the fucking pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a real concern. They're fucking with me.
Shit, is it just you, or are they doing all record stores still?
It's just me because I like talked about the minister in the press recently, and they came like the day after this CBC article came out and stuff. Anyways, like
Oh, buddy.
and I'm losing like allies in this. Like one of the other stores we were kind of working together, like he's backed off because he's just like, like I've lived in Montreal long enough, and I know that I've seen like situations with people I know when you like push up when the government feels like backed into a corner, like I'm out.
Wow.
So, but I don't know if I can even get out now.
Shit.
But I'm gonna go to BC in 2 weeks, so at least I won't die there from the cops.
Yeah, you're safe at my place, buddy.
I thought I was making enemies.
It's fucking wild, bud.
Maybe I should quit smoking pot. Maybe that'll help with my paranoia. I think I've gone full circle with what pot is supposed to do. It's not. I'm just worried. Ops listening. Maybe they're fucking on the stream, guys.
That's when I stopped. I started getting a little paranoid, and I just blamed British weed. I said, "This is just garbage skunk weed."
If I look back on this episode like 5 years from now, I'm like, oh, that's the episode I went into a fugue state towards the.
Are you six-wave pot smoking, Jordan? Yeah.
Is David Hoare a cop? Who's this guy?
David Hoare is in the Musical Comedy Award finals, I will have you know. David Hoare coming out with his guitar, Bloomsbury Theatre, Saturday night. If you're in London, go get tickets. Cheer extra loud for our friend
David Hoare absolutely destroy the musical comedian finalists. David Hoare designed all the music for Untitled Twitch stream.
All of it. Did the intro, did the Be Right Back thing, which we haven't played in ages. Because we're always just here, man.
Will we just give like a little flavor of it for?
Yeah, let's do a taste. Let's do a taste. Where's Jordan going?
I don't know.
Oh, he went to go get a plug. Okay.
Oh.
What I heard.
While Jordan's plugging in, we're gonna do. Where is it? Do we not have it on this?
Oh, you know where it is.
On a bloody YouTube
I got
thing.
it. I got it here.
You got it.
That's right, because it was just too long.
It's too long for StreamYard, yeah.
Yeah, StreamYard couldn't do it.
But it's great. It's all a ruse. He's just here to shut down Jordan.
The Untitled Twitch stream will be back in a moment. But we don't know. Gone.
Chill.
If you want some of these vibes, you head down to Bloomsbury Theatre this Saturday night. Check out friend of the podcast and possible cop, David Hoare.
Where have you gone? Where have you gone?
Oh, your internet, man.
I don't think it is the internet. I think it's my computer.
Potentially.
Because I was playing like games on this.
Maybe they're out hunting moose.
I only just realized that the hills are moving too.
Yeah.
Because there's so many faces coming at me.
Green sea.
Maybe they're watching Michael Flatley.
Maybe we are watching Michael Flatley.
I listened to the whole thing when he first sent it to us.
Really?
And no section is the same. He came up with so many things that we could have been doing.
Amazing. He works so hard.
So hard. Go follow David Hoare, watch his streams.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always busy at that time, but go watch his streams, listen to his music, go see him win the musical comedian finals.
I was talking about that on my stream this afternoon, or this morning, where we used to stream at the same time. So he would stream a little bit before me, and I'd get to watch some of his stream, and then I'd do mine. But because I moved it later because of the time zone I'm in now, I haven't got to see a single goddamn David Hoare stream in ages. And I was asking my chat, I was like, how is he? How's our boy? How's our sweet boy?
I'm not really watching many streams at the moment. I try and maybe dip in and sometimes leave it on as in the background, but I'm just fucking busy.
Yeah. Jordan, do you watch much Twitch, or is it? Do you even watch us on Twitch, or do you watch us on YouTube or Facebook? Or
I'm on. I watch you guys on Twitch, but when somebody in your camp forgot to update your loyal viewers that there would be no show on a particular week, I had to watch something, so I clicked on a random Canadian stream, and it was like a full-on anti-vax from Salmon Arm stream. and I got myself banned from their chat. I was just like all caps lock, like trolling. I was just writing just like, yeah, and also like underneath the pizza parlor is where they keep the vats of acid that they're putting. Like I just annoyed the chat so much. So I got kicked out. Yeah.
They're troll worthy.
Yeah.
Steve Mooney, we have it on a private YouTube. You can't access it.
No, it's just for us, I'm afraid.
We should definitely like plan a break at some point that people can listen to that.
Yeah, well, I think we used it when we did our last mega stream.
We did, yeah.
I think
It comes
it's
out at the mega streams.
Yeah.
To give us a break. And maybe it's just a special treat for those. Hastings,
We should release a
John
David
has
Bohr
another
album
Twitch
soon.
channel, but he doesn't really. Oh, sorry, I just
said it's the anti-vax one. Yeah.
Brain.
David, I'm working on your hip hop recommendation playlist. I've got a bunch of songs on my phone, but I haven't had time to sit down and properly curate it. But it's coming together.
I am so music dense. Like I can listen to it a little bit, but it's just not something that I'm like. I don't get into it. I don't know anything about music. Like I don't even know what the music I listen to is. You know, I'll put it on.
It's just Every Day is a Winding Road by Sheryl Crow.
I know that it's I know that I like it, but I don't know who's singing it or
It's Sheryl Crow. And the song is called Every Day is a Winding Road, and you love it. And we all love it because it's a perfect song.
That's probably not true. I listen to similar artists on repeat.
I'm so jealous of you, Ashley.
Why?
Because the more you know, the more a piece of your soul gets taken away by your love of music. I was at the post office, and they always play like top 40 there, and I'm at this level where like the things we were talking about a few minutes ago with earworms, like earworms aren't necessarily, an earworm doesn't necessarily mean it's good. People can debate me on that, but there's just some things that will like plant themselves in your head like a virus and be stuck there for 2 months sometimes, and
sometimes years.
There was this one that I went down this like rabbit hole, like within it was like a DMT flash of hatred because it linked up with my music. So,
I was legit expecting Jordan to tell us about a genre called post office just then.
It's just that's brilliant, David.
I'm more into post office, but
I'm going to go on record here and say that if you want to collaborate on what making a post office genre song, whatever that means, let's do it. Down. Anyways, but there's just this one awful song that references, and I know that like I'm probably one of the few people who, not few, but like in the lower percentage of people who get this. It's referencing that Bangles song "Manic Monday," which was written by anybody know?
Bob Geldof?
Prince.
Oh, okay.
So I
assume all songs about Mondays were written about Bob Geldof.
But this,
I don't like Mondays.
But this fucking song, I looked it up after because I hated it so much. The song itself is called #Sunday Fun Day, and the chorus, I'm going to ruin everybody's.
Who wrote that?
And the chorus of the song, it's still in my head 2 months later, and I hate it. It's I wish it was Sunday Fun Day.
Oh no!
It's like a Rebecca Black song.
Oh dear.
Oh, the band is called Magic.
But
I'm gonna listen to this.
In the Manic Monday song, he's like, it's just another Manic Monday. Wish it was Sunday because I don't have to run day because that's my fun day, right? So they're like,
God, okay.
So it's a beautiful, terrible cocktail of hatred because of the hook, but also what they took, like just without
Yeah.
any class and it's so bad.
Jesus.
I'm just gonna highlight Steve Mooney's comment. Rich Wilson's Tuned Up Time Machine. I'm sure it's excellent. I haven't actually listened to it, but I like Rich Wilson. He's great. Go and listen to it. I listened to his other podcast, the Insane in the Membrane one, and I love that.
Have you heard Christopher MacArthur Boyd and Liam Withnell's music podcast?
Yeah, Enjoy an Album.
Yeah.
That's another one to check out. They're listening to the
I think it's called
100
Enjoy
Greatest
Anal Bum.
Album. Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. They are listening to each week they're doing a different album that they listen to and talk about, which is on the 100 Greatest Albums of All Time list thing from is it Variety?
Rolling Stone or something? Variety. Yeah.
Rolling Stone or something, yeah. I don't know, but that's their podcast, so that's another one to listen to.
Also, there's a podcast called the Big Shiny Podcast, which if you were into alt rock,
that guy or that guy,
and it's it's both of us. It's great.
Yeah, but if you're into either of you,
oh, okay, yeah,
you know.
but not both.
Not both.
No one likes us both.
Yes.
Actually, more specifically, you should be into both of them. Yeah, there's some good music podcasts. I just like the thing is I know about music. So I studied music. I played a bit of music when I was younger, and all of that. So I'm but I just don't get obsessed with it that much. Like I love artists, but I don't know anything about them. I don't know anything about how they make their music, or I don't know the behind the scenes information the same way I do when I watch films. I love behind the scenes information on films, but I just don't get that way about music.
But then why don't you watch these scenes themselves then, as you've famously never seen a movie? What is it about the production element?
We're just gonna stop that right there.
Actually, I'm going to make a suggestion with you. If you are interested in cultivating that, perhaps, or just see if you haven't. Watch a movie.
I don't know if I am, but yeah. Go on.
All right. Well, then I was going to say watch a movie about like music or something.
Yeah, that's probably a really good suggestion, actually. Yeah. I think, to be honest, I'll bring Chris back. What a little tantrum move that is. You know what? You don't deserve to come back. I was just about to let him come back, and now he doesn't deserve it.
The look he just gave you is the look that, like, a dog who's being too needy, you're just like, well, you're staying late, and then you're like, are you going to behave now? And then
that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
He's incredulous that this is happening.
Yeah.
So as you were saying, Ashley.
As I was saying, I think it comes down to a lot of anxiety and stress. You're not allowed to bring yourself back. Excuse me.
It's not a Sunday fun day now, is it, buddy?
No. I should have seen that coming.
Yeah. Fuck you, Chris.
Come on back then. If you're gonna throw a little hissy fit about it.
That was funny, and you know it. That
was funny.
It was hilarious. But
I think the countdown gets funnier with the greater gaps that come between it. Like the longer it goes, the more we've forgotten about it as a thing.
Very much so.
Yeah. As I'll just finish up my point was just that I don't really like noise that much. And music manifests.
Oh, Frank.
Frank. I'm sorry, I forgot Frank was even able to be on this stream.
Oh yeah, because I'm coming through my
you're coming
OBS,
through your OBS,
which is linked to my Twitch, and Baldy
to
is
this
currently
channel, though.
in my chat Twitch.
Oh,
my
that's
my
I
Twitch chat,
see.
and so that
Very
links to here.
clever.
So I'm also getting sound alerts.
That's
So
great.
Ashley doesn't like music. Chris doesn't like movies.
No, I love movies. It's Ashley that doesn't like movies.
No,
She's never seen a film.
Oh, okay. So,
That's canon. That's
I don't
canon
like
on the screen.
music
Ashley's
or
never seen a film.
movies.
Yeah, but you know the shit out of books, so that trumps all.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Except actually, Chris tries to own that genre as well.
Yeah,
I own a lot of books. I've read a
I
lot
think
of
we're
books.
seeing. I think we're seeing a pattern. Really,
I
is that
feel like-
Chris just thinks he's the best at everything, and
here's a little game I always love to be.
Yeah, John doesn't like minorities, famously.
Chris, this is like almost like a friendship test that
Ooh.
I'm gonna fail, but I have a feeling, and I just thought of it now, that Chris, like, prove me wrong, but I feel like you're somebody who hates like modern art sculpture, like anything that would be in the Guggenheim or anything that's like post 1920 sculpture, like Ferlinghetti and stuff.
I don't like any art that needs a 3-paragraph explanation of what it is.
No art
because
needs that.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. Is like you've done a bad job, and that's whenever I see a sculpture that's got like a whole fucking essay next to it, it's like you did a bad job. Your sculpture should tell me this. David Orr says you can't read books and be the pullout champion. Pick a lane. I can do both. I can do both.
Okay, so you love modern art. My apologies.
Yeah. As long as it speaks for itself. Let me decide what this art is.
It's like, with how many Campbell's soup cans do we need on a canvas? Am I right, guys?
That's if Kaufman put like the reason I chose 4 is because of this and Aristotle. And it's like I don't care. That's not why I'm here. I want to look at your stupid cans, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys ever gone to a museum just because you felt like it was something you should do, but then regretted every single minute you spent?
Pretty much every time I've gone to a museum. Yeah.
I love museums. I love them so much.
I
prefer going alone.
I don't.
Yeah. I love. Well, then I can decide what to look at.
I love going to a museum with my dad. That is the only way I enjoy museums. I don't like art museums. I just
There are 2 like Hall of Fame comments that just came in.
Yeah.
And the one is David Orr and Ashley. Do you know what song this is? We played it on the stream recently, so it's fair enough if you don't. But I know the tune immediately. Jordan, can you guess it?
I can't hear anything.
No, you can't.
No, not the song. But can you read the comment? So this is to the tune of a song that you know very well because we grew up at the same time.
What David Hoard just wrote here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're the lyrics of the song.
No, I don't.
I can just twice as high. It's in a book, a sticky book, reading rainbow.
Oh. Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's top notch. And then let me see those cans. Chris on art. If anyone wants to design a thing of that, I would very happily have that on a t-shirt.
That would actually be really great. Merch.
Let me see those cans.
You guys could have like shirts that's each of your faces like 40 times on the shirt, Andy Warhol style. I'd buy that. That's a good Twitch merch idea. I'll take 10%.
Yeah. Soup. Oh yeah, I was trying to remember Andy Warhol's name once on stream, and I just kept calling him Mr. Soup Cans.
Not to be confused with somebody who lived on the streets of New York.
Yeah, no.
Oh, we should show Jordan the artwork that we were given for.
Oh yeah, he'll love that.
Yeah,
I love art.
I'll see if I can bring it up.
I'm trying to remember what which part it was in. Oh, you've got it? Oh, amazing.
I've got it. I'm just gonna make sure this doesn't show anything else. It's fine. Sharing screens is always exciting.
There it is.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I'm very confused by the idea of Chris and John as cherubs. That's not a thought I ever expected to have, but
I
I'm
know,
glad.
they're so cute, though.
And Ashley, they what the hell does that say?
Operation Choke Slam.
I'm not enough of a Troggy to get that reference, but
Operation Chokeslam is basically the mission to get me laid.
Oh, I see. Well,
specifically by somebody who might choke me.
Well,
I think
they better choke well.
I think using Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness as artwork is a great idea because Billy Corgan made that album as a giant operation to get himself laid. So I think things will work out.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Oh, you really enjoyed that album, didn't you, Ashley? You listened to it for the first time
I
after
listened to
this
it
came through,
after
yeah.
this artwork was made, and I actually really, really liked it. And I don't know, is it the title track? What's it called?
Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness.
Yeah, I really liked that. I know it's like but that would be what I listen to, just like piano music or kind of really calm.
Well, how did you feel when you got to the song XYU then? Jesus.
Well, there's definitely the rest of the album is completely different, but I really liked that, and then kind of as another thing, I liked the rest of the album.
Yeah.
But like most of what I listen to is slow classical music, like Bach, Chopin, Tchaikovsky.
You know what my favorite Chopin song is?
Go on.
Shope Sticks.
So Ashley, you're basically I can't accept
I reacted to that so much. My face. I just lost control of my face for a moment.
Why does this joke upset me, Chris?
That's gold. That is gold.
So Ashley, you're saying that because you listen to so much classical music, you felt this void throughout all your years listening, and then you're just like, what this really needs is this nasally guy saying, "The world is a vampire" over top of classical. That's what this album did for you.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I did. I really liked it though. But yeah, such a fun little piece of art we got in. We are so here for fan art. If anyone wants to do
Oh
that.
yeah,
just putting
fan
that
art.
out into the universe.
Love it. Thank you, Patty. You appreciate me.
Yeah.
So to be clear, that was a joke on the song Chopsticks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the pronunciation of Chopin.
Right, and
yeah,
you put those two things together, and you're like, I got myself a joke.
It's not a good joke.
It's a great joke. You laughed so hard.
I laughed at my own reaction.
Your whole body laughed.
Hey, here's a joke I just made up in my head. I'm going to share without thinking if it's a good joke. Hey, what if the people that wrote Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto made a record with the Rolling Stones and we could call it Sticks and Stones?
It's not as good.
You're right. I'm ashamed.
But there was more heart.
You only
and soul
disproved
put
my
into
point.
It, you know, there was more conscious effort put into that.
Yeah, I'm a natural.
Did you guys ever hear the joke about in the 90s they're making movies about classical composers because Amadeus was such a hit, and so but now they want to like make a more Hollywood version, so but they kind of want to make it like have action scenes in it and make it exciting. So they're contacting Sylvester Stallone. And he's like, I think I'd like to play Ravel. I've always loved Bolero. It's a great fucking song. I'm down. Consider me down. And then Jean-Claude Van Damme's like, I would like to be Eric Satie because people don't usually get to see my sensitive side. And then they get to Arnold Schwarzenegger and he stops and he thinks and he says, I'll be back.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you do it. All right.
That's a good one. I like that. I like that a lot.
And we just hit 2 hours. I feel like that's a perfect note to go out on.
Just before we wrap up, I want to talk about very briefly. I'm just going to mention that there's something happening on my Twitter at the moment.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
That's
something good.
I think it's good. So I tweeted something last night, and just slowly through the day, the likes have just been creeping up. So I tweeted, and you know, I put a lot of effort into some tweets. This is not one of them.
Always the ones that go.
Yeah. So basically, I tweeted that I have lived in Scotland for 3 years now. I studied Scots Gaelic in my undergrad. I've been learning some Scots and Scots literature and generally pretty good with language and place names, etc. But today I learned how 2 place names are pronounced, and it has floored me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you these place names. And hang on.
Nice. I'm looking at the tweet right now. Actually,
You're looking at the tweet?
I saw Mary Elaine answer you.
Yeah. So this is the tweet. But like you'll see, the likes are climbing up. There's 300, more than 300 likes there now. So these are the 2 place names. I want to see how you guys might pronounce them.
You want to take one, Chris, and I'll take the other kind of thing?
Sure. Which do you want to pick? You're the guest. You pick first.
I'll take the last one.
Okay.
Go on.
Nungave.
Is that your
Wimis.
final answer?
I mean, like the actual one I would do as like somebody who would have no idea maybe how to would be Milne Gavi.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem with Scottish things is they are not interested in phonetic spelling.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the problem is that the place names have existed before they were written down, and they were written down by English landowners.
Which means that they should be even more phonetic because they should have spelled it the way it sounded because they were English. Yeah, I'm going to go Wimis.
So the first one is pronounced
John.
The first one is pronounced Weems.
Weems.
And the second one is pronounced Mulgai.
Oh, fuck off.
English people wrote that? That's rude.
Wait, it's pronounced how?
Mulgai.
How? Where's the Where's the what?
I don't know. But anyway, I found out how they were pronounced yesterday, and that's what I tweeted.
Wow.
But like, yeah, it's getting a lot of response, and I think this is Scottish Twitter accepting me into the gang.
Nice.
That's great. We have some fan art that David Hoare just sent me. Don't get your hopes up. It's very funny.
I'm excited.
Is that Ashley?
That's Ashley, yeah.
I think it's supposed to be me. Oh, that's me from Operation Chokeslam. Yeah.
I can't tell if you're supposed to be bald and jumping rope or if the brown is your hair.
I think the brown is supposed to be my hair.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Just one strand, one rope.
Yeah.
Always appreciated. Put it on a shirt. Put it on a shirt.
Put it on a shirt.
Thanks, buddy. We love all your art. We love all your art.
Shall we do some plugs?
Yeah. Jordan, do you have anything that you would like to plug?
I would just like to plug my mom because she came to see me recently, and she's who you guys should try and get in touch with if I die in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
So
yeah.
I just as your friend, a little bit of advice: don't tell people you want to plug your mom. Just.
You're a 14-year-old child that just heard it that way.
Let me retort with this, Chris. We all once had to deplug from our moms.
That's true. There you go. Ashley, if you're not ready for the big conversations, then you can't be around.
I can't believe that actually came
That was a
out.
petty retort, is what that was.
That was just a fun.
That
move.
was a petty retort. You've just wanted to find any little reason to remove me from the screen.
No, it hasn't crossed my mind once. I just saw an opportunity.
Wow, you guys have been doing this show together for too long.
Okay.
To the moon.
Chris, any plugs?
No, I'm going to be at Heckler's this weekend in Victoria. If anyone's around, that should be fun. BC just changed the law so we can have full capacity in comedy clubs again as of Sunday. So I'm going to be setting a date. I was waiting for them to do that before I set a date to record my album, but I'll be setting a date to record my album soon. And so look out for that, which would be great. And then if you're in the west coast of Canada for some reason, come on down.
Great.
Am I gonna you record your app?
It won't be that soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it'll be like maybe December, maybe January.
Cool.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out, folks. My plugs are this. We have some social media channels set up. Please go and follow them. I've set up a TikTok. I'm still learning how to use it. I spent the hour before this stream trying to make a clip from last night. Didn't go well. Abandoned the entire thing. And yeah, I'll be attempting to do that again probably tomorrow. So yeah, likes and shares, much appreciated. And we'll be back on Sunday.
Yeah, John will be back, I think. I think he's back Sunday.
I think he should be back.
Monday.
Yeah, I think he is
Tell
back.
you guys what happened to him? That's probably not to share on air, I'm sure.
Oh, he's in Dubai.
He's in Dubai.
When he was down there, he picked up something. Anyways, maybe he will share that.
Well, he hasn't told us that.
I had to
Why
get
do you know before we do?
I'm supposed to mail these like record covers out. To him.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And share his crazy.
He's
news.
probably saving the stories to tell us on show.
That would be a real spoiler alert if I just told it.
Yeah.
We know it's not an STD because he famously doesn't fuck.
I mean, he was in Dubai.
It's not a heroin addiction because it's Dubai. It could be a nice gift for his mother. He loves his mother. I'm going to assume that's what it is. I think it's a nice gift for Joanne.
Ashley, what's your guess?
I'm gonna say he picked up. Oh God, it really could be anything with John.
Yeah.
Is it some sort of disease?
I mean,
Is
I
it
could give
scarlet
you-
fever. I cannot get that scarlet fever thing out of my head.
Well,
Last night.
I don't want to step on his.
Yeah. Oh no! Don't tell us. We'll find out. We'll find out the next show. But
yeah.
Oh dear.
No, Tiger, if he got COVID, he would have told us.
Oh,
No, he already
that
told
would've
us
come-
like a COVID thing.
No, I
But-
only joke about that when people die from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there such a thing as a foot clapping disease? Has anyone? No? Make him clap, John.
Yeah, has he picked up another broken limb?
Oh, that would be wild. Oh, just
that
one more
would
piece of fan art real quick. Just a little bit of look at that. I don't like the Cove. That's absolutely correct.
These are such like throwback references, David. These are like I don't even know what the Cove is. The Cove predates me.
You don't know the Cove?
No, that was
Oh,
before
I
my
wish
time, man.
I wish I had my green screen. I can't do it properly, but essentially, don't go in the Cove.
Yeah, but that's
basically
the answer
that.
I get every time, and it doesn't help me understand what it is in any way, shape, or form.
That's all you need to know is don't go there. That's
I don't understand it. We should probably raid somebody. I am opening Twitch now. I have got paleontologizing, hangs with hands. We could do hangs with hands.
yeah, I'm good with the hands or have.
Let's do have.
Good with both. Have is
Have you
wonderful.
got
He's
it?
probably drunk, and drunk have is very fun.
Oh, drunk have is so funny. I did not know that Have had a child for so long.
Yeah.
And when I learned that, I was just like, no. What? You have a child, but you're always drunk.
Always. Good dad, too. Wild.
Wild.
Wild stuff.
Okay, I am going with the raid.
Cool. Shall I get
great.
the outro video?
let's get the outro videos.
All
See you
right.
guys on Sunday.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to order vinyl, do it at Phonopolis in Montreal. That's Jordan's company. Do that. Order from him and give him money so he can fight the government. We'll see you soon. Have a good
See
weekend.
the old lady.
Penis into her vagina. And that's all. That's all. And that's called sexual intercourse. Some people call it having sex. So the man passes the sperm to the woman, and now his sperm is in her. Maybe you're wondering if a mistake could be made when having sexual intercourse. That can't happen.